Tanzania Link, a collaboration between Tanzania High Commission in the United Kingdom and Multiclicks Digital Solutions Limited. Asante sana. Introducing Tanzania Link Portal, your gateway to endless opportunities between the UK and Tanzania. Whether you're interested in tourism, trade and investment, education, or finding your dream job, Tanzania Link has you covered. Explore Tanzania's breathtaking coastal beaches, beautiful landscapes, wildlife, and experience unforgettable adventures. Water sports. Create unforgettable memories. Enjoy the beauty of Zanzibar and the taste of its coastal spices. Unlock lucrative investment opportunities and foster economic growth from both sides of the globe. Facilitate seamless trade between the UK and Tanzania, maximizing profitability for businesses. Broaden your horizons through research, scholarships, collaborations, and student exchange programs. Discover exciting career opportunities and take the next step towards your professional aspirations. Don't miss out on the endless possibilities awaiting you. Tanzania Link Portal, connecting dreams and creating futures. Tanzania Link, a collaboration between Tanzania High Commission in the United Kingdom and Multiclicks Digital Solutions Limited. Asante sana. Introducing Tanzania Link Portal, your gateway to endless opportunities between the UK and Tanzania. Whether you're interested in tourism, trade and investment, education, or finding your dream job, Tanzania Link has you covered. Explore Tanzania's breathtaking coastal beaches, beautiful landscapes, wildlife, and experience unforgettable adventures. Water sports. Create unforgettable memories. Enjoy the beauty of Zanzibar and the taste of its coastal spices. Unlock lucrative investment opportunities and foster economic growth from both sides of the globe. Facilitate seamless trade between the UK and Tanzania, maximizing profitability for businesses. Broaden your horizons through research, scholarships, collaborations, and student exchange programs. Discover exciting career opportunities and take the next step towards your professional aspirations. Don't miss out on the endless possibilities awaiting you. Tanzania Link Portal, connecting dreams and creating futures. Tanzania Link, collaboration between Tanzania and experience unforgettable adventures. Water sports.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good evening from London. Good evening, Tanzania. Welcome to the first ever webinar targeting the youth, specifically the second generation diaspora of the United Republic of Tanzania. May I take this opportunity to thank you all for joining us this evening. We truly appreciate you taking time off what we understand must be busy schedules to participate in this webinar. We truly appreciate it. My name is Mercy Kitonga, and I'm one of the team here at Tanzania High Commission, and I'll be a moderator for this evening. Today's gathering has been influenced by the realization by the High Commission of the need to reach out and cater to a unique group of Tanzanians, the youth, who are outside our normal niche and generation, that though has ancestral connections with Tanzania, have been born, reside, identify, and continue to consider the United Kingdom their home. This is our way of taking the first step to build a bridge between these two worlds and foster a mutually beneficial relationship for both sides. We are due to have quite a remarkable timetable today, and I would not like to take up much of your time. If I could just run you through quickly, we will have short welcoming remarks from His Excellency Belwa Kairuki, the High Commissioner of the United Republic of Tanzania to the United Kingdom. We expect to have an opening speech from Honorable January Makamba, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation. We will have a short message from the second generation diaspora, Dr. Idris Elba, actor and president of the Akuna Group. We will then be followed by a keynote address from Mr. Lawrence Mafuru, Executive Secretary, Planning Commission, that will focus on providing insights into Tanzania and its vision for the future. We will have a presentation on investment opportunities from mainland Tanzania from Mr. Gilead Terry, Executive Director, Tanzania Investment Center. This will be followed by a short presentation on investment opportunities in Zanzibar from Mr. Emmanuel Mashimba on behalf of the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Agency. We will have a testimonial from Diaspora, Ms. Naomi Mwasambili, who is the
Apologies, Dada Messi, you are muted. For some reason, someone has muted you. Thank you.
Thank you. Where was the last that you heard me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Let me take the opportunity to welcome His Excellency Mbelwa Kairuki, the High Commissioner, for welcoming remarks. Karibu Balozi.
Asante. Habari za mchana, jioni. Good afternoon to you all. At the outset, allow me to thank you all for joining us today at the Youth Talk with Tanzania's second generation diaspora residing in the United Kingdom. Our meeting today is unique as it is happening for the first time to provide a platform for interaction with the diaspora youth, a potential asset for Tanzania's development. The meeting today will brief you, the second generation diaspora, about Tanzania's development vision and opportunities it offers for engagement. Well, as a firm believer of a holistic approach in addressing Tanzania's development gap, we consider diaspora as a key component. And it is for this reason that the High Commission is determined to strengthen diaspora engagement by informing them, involving them, and motivating them to share with Tanzania their knowledge, skills, and capital in order to boost Tanzania's economic growth and empower our communities. Today, we have also invited distinguished speakers from home, Tanzania, and here in the UK to share with us what it is like to invest, do business, engage with Tanzania, and also to motivate all of you to be part of this journey to build a better Tanzania. And I would like to finalize my remarks by thanking all of you for joining us. And also, we are looking forward to your input, ideas, so that we can achieve our goal. The Foreign Minister of Tanzania, Honorable January Makamba, will be joining us later today. I understand he's airborne due to land in Dar es Salaam from Denmark. So once he lands in Dar es Salaam, he will join in and he will address us all. So Mercy, let us continue with the program. I think we are due to listen to the message from the second generation diaspora based in the UK. Mr. Dr. Idris Elba, karibu sana.
Indeed, Balozi. Thank you for the welcoming remarks. May I now ask for the message from Dr. Idris Elba?
Good afternoon, everyone. At the onset, I'd like to thank High Commissioner Bellowa for this opportunity to address this gathering of Tanzania's second generation diaspora. And now, as a proud member of the African diaspora, I know that you are all aware of the privileges we bear as bridge builders between our motherland and the global cultures we now inhabit. There is an African proverb that states, when the roots are deep, the tree has no reason to fear the wind. It is really important to find a way to deepen your roots, to reach back and launch others forward. So I am very, very proud of my heritage, which is why I always find ways to build bridges across Africa. In Sierra Leone, I am currently trying to build an eco-city on the island of Shebro. The city seeks to provide a safe, diverse, and sustainable, innovative center for business and tourism, a home to be created for islanders, Sierra Leoneans, diaspora, people of African descent, and expats from around the world. I'm also working with a wide range of stakeholders to streamline Africa's film industries by structuring and strengthening the ecosystems with a view to creating jobs and generating wealth while advancing our culture, our cultural identity. As a second generation African born and raised in the UK, I've always navigated through multiple identities. My diaspora journey taught me to leverage my heritage as a bridge between my geography of birth and my geography of choice or of growth, keeping the two in mind wherever I go. And this is why throughout my career, whether it's acting or philanthropy, I've carried my African roots with me. Each role I've embraced, every project I've initiated, has been an opportunity to reflect the narratives of resilience, of innovation, and the spirit inherent in our motherland. Now, I challenge each and every one of you to
can you just
find
start
a
to
way
make that
to
video so we can hear what
build
Mr.
that
Elba is
bridge
saying? Because
of
otherwise
knowledge
there's nothing
and
happening here.
understanding, bridges of commerce and courage across continents and cultures, forging a future that honors our heritage and helps humanity. It's up to you, Tanzania. It's up to you, the people. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Messi, I can read messages on the chat from some people couldn't hear the video. Yeah.
I apologize for that, Belosi. I'm not sure what happened. We'll try to make it available online for people if they would like to listen to it. If we can continue with our timetable, can I take the opportunity to welcome Mr. Lawrence Mafuru for his keynote address. Mr. Mafuru, karibu. Hello? Hello? Mr. Mafuru?
Seems like he's muted, unfortunately.
Can you unmute, please?
Yes, it's fine. It's gone.
Hello? Mr. Mafuru, I can see you online, but you still appear as muted. Can you hear us? While we give him hello? Perhaps I'll give him a few more minutes to get him his presentation and his connect. Move on to a different presentation. Can I have a presentation on investment opportunities from TIC? Mr. Gilead Terry, the floor is yours.
Mercy, let me just make sure that you can hear me.
I can. Can the rest of you hear him?
Yes, yes.
Loud
I take that
loud
as
and clear. Loud and clear.
Mr. Terry, please go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And while I am sort of preserving the space for my colleague, allow me to mention two things. So I'll make the most important presentation, 2 or 3 slides out of the way, and then I'll give you my comments and remarks, which I think could be quite relevant to the group here today. Allow me to share my screen, if you may. And I will just share one particular slide, which I think is essential for everyone who is with us here today. This slide. Thank you. So my message to everyone who is listening to us living out there in the world is that my colleagues from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will give you a bit of an update in terms of the opportunities that will be made available for our diaspora. We are very thankful to the administration of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan being quite open and willing to embrace the space of Tanzanians who are living abroad or individuals who have Tanzanian heritage. And one thing I would like to mention to you today is that for you as a foreigner or as a foreigner with the Tanzanian heritage, we would certainly value and give you a privilege at from the investment point of view, should you ever decide to do business or set up in Tanzania. And I'll give you multiple reasons as to why that will be a good decision from where you're sitting. But one thing I wanted you to take a note of is that first category of anyone we would consider to be an investor. Any person who is a foreigner with a net worth or at least a value or a business or inventory or machines that's worth 500,000 US dollars, you should be able to qualify as an investor in Tanzania, and you certainly get a number of incentives. And $50,000 is the number that we would have for local investors. The message that I wanted to pass on here today is anyone who is living in any country out there in the world, should you want to do business in our country, should you want to invest, should you want to have an economic contact, an economic connection with our country, the current administration, through our High Commission in London, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through the Ministry of Planning and Investment, we will make sure that it is workable for you. And statistically, as well as in terms of capital requirement, we have made it possible for anyone, both foreign and domestic, to be able to do business in Tanzania. That's a very critical message I wanted to mention here today, that it is very, very important for you to know that Tanzania has a welcoming arm, arms wide open to make sure that anyone with the Tanzanian heritage willing and interested in doing business in our country certainly gets an opportunity to do so. I think coming from an investment authority is very important, that you're all aware that should you decide to come and do business in our country, we will make it easy for you. Another important message to mention is that for anyone who wants to operate between two countries, we have also made it easy for anyone. And this means should you want to register a business in Tanzania as a foreigner and certainly want to come and work in it as an expert, you can certainly come and do so. And these are the kind of advantage that we'll give you. We'll give you the ability to hire at least 10 people. So if it's individuals in your own country of residence at the moment or your country of nationality, should you want to come and do business, you should be able to hire people from there. That includes yourself, but also the ability to move money between your two jurisdictions is something that is feasible and possible. So I just wanted to use this opportunity to pass on those two messages, that the government is more than happy, willing and open to work with you and support you should you want to have economic engagements in our country. And then certainly the laws and the regulations, through all the support that you will get from the High Commission, as well as from the government of Tanzania, including the Tanzania Investment Center, will make it easy and feasible for you to be able to accomplish your needs. Now, on that note, as a government employee, I'm supposed to say that, and because I've already done my due, I can now give you a piece of my mind in terms of my experiences as a part-time diaspora, as well as my message to anyone who is living abroad at the moment and they're considering either coming back home or having some significant economic engagement, including businesses with our country. So I have three separate messages which I think could be quite essential. Message number one is that the world today is really diverse and it's really connected in a way that can help you as a second generation diaspora to be part of more than one community. So I wouldn't want you, living in Manchester or living in London to only consider yourself as part of the British society, but certainly you can, and it's quite possible and feasible to be part of a Tanzanian community as well. And this can be done in different ways. So for anyone who is in business, certainly by establishing a branch, establishing, a local partner, be it in buying a house, and I'm sure my colleague from Zipa will tell you all about that. It's quite easy and feasible to buy property in Zanzibar, which gives you a residence permit, which you can certainly enjoy within the mainland, or simply by working part-time. You could simply be someone who is consulting, based out of the UK, but certainly be part of the gig economy and do business and have clients in Tanzania. So my message, again, from a personal point of view, you can certainly be stationed anywhere in the world, be part of that community, but certainly be rooted in the community at home, and there are practical ways and feasible ways to do that. But the second message is anyone who is doing business, and I think this is very, very essential. I would say, in my opinion, anyone who is in the UK would, or in the US or anywhere else in the world, will be far more easy to make their first £1 million or make their first $1 million in Tanzania rather than in the UK. And I'll give you many reasons for that. The reality is, when you live in a developing economies, there's a lot that is missing. There's a lot of opportunities that can be taken advantage of. And I think when you live in a developed economy, you can see all that is wrong and all that is not perfect in a developed economy. And you, as a second generation diaspora, you have the advantage of being a bridge in both places. We have seen countries that have really used their ability to be individuals, or at least to have roots in two different places to make it work. Our colleagues from India, our colleagues from China and different parts of the world have certainly used their diaspora status to drive value for their own economies, whether it's bringing best practices or bringing capital or bringing expertise that could easily be transformational in their home countries. And I've seen this firsthand, and it doesn't require a lot of money. So for example, a couple of years ago when I was part of diaspora in the UK, I came across and worked for a particular fund which worked primarily with PhD students in UK university just to fund innovation. And this is early message VC, so to speak. And the way they put it is that you have small amount of cash where you could support early ideas, technical ideas. This could be someone who is working in physics or in biology and something like that, and then help them develop their concept over a period of time and then commercialize it at the end. And this is someone who would use, £5,000, £10,000 to support, to develop these concepts and then commercialize them at the end of the day. And they made, over a period of time, are able to make a lot of money. And thinking of that particular concept, not necessarily, with PhD students in Tanzania, and not to say that we don't have good research, at PhD level at that point in time, but certainly a lot of other services could certainly benefit from the quality that you observe on day-to-day in global capital and global commercial cities that you are living at the moment. So I would certainly encourage you to think of starting small, to think of starting something that you can grow over a long period of time. And certainly someone who starts that quite early, over the period of 5 to 10 years, they would certainly be able to make it, again, £1 million or $1 million much faster compared to someone who will do the same service in the UK, which is certainly a saturated market for things like PE, VC, or anyone working in finance. My last message is that when you decide to make that decision, you will not be alone. You will be joining multitudes of Tanzanians, whether first or second generation diaspora, or the likes of us who spend time in the diaspora for a while and then come back to Tanzania, to be part of a growing and a changing movement and a changing momentum, not only within government but within our society. I would highly encourage you to think about it. And we are seeing this not because I'm just telling you at the moment. We are seeing it in our data points. Between June and December 2023, the amount of investments that we registered at the Tanzania Investment Center were about 60 to 65% originally from Tanzanians or from joint ventures between Tanzanians and foreigners, what is telling us, what that data point is telling us, is that one, foreigners are finding value in working with Tanzanians, that's one. But two, also Tanzanians who are from the diaspora are finding value in coming and working with other Tanzanians in the country to establish businesses and make things work. So these strategic partnerships, you would find them everywhere. TIC is one of the spaces where we will not only find local partners that you can work with, we have a database for that one, but help you set up when you decide to come into the country. So my last message is that, when you're thinking of transitioning, when you're thinking of having your feet in two places, whether in the UK and Tanzania or elsewhere in Tanzania, don't think that you'll come to a place where nobody understands what you're trying to do. You will find a lot of compatriots, not only within government, like the likes of High Commissioner Kairuki, but as well as the likes of us at TIC and many others that we will tell you all along. Again, happy to answer any questions at a later point. But by all means, I mean, if you're looking anywhere else, then certainly Tanzania should be a place to look into. And again, to reiterate my messages again, you can be connected both ends, not only in the UK, but in Tanzania, certainly would be a place where you can certainly make money. And by all means, the fastest place you can make your first $1 million. And then the last thing, you will not be alone. You will have all the support of the administration of Her Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, not only the embassy, as well as TIC. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, High Commissioner and the embassy in the UK for setting this up, and we'll be more than happy to, again, answer questions and support anyone keen into Tanzania.
Thank you very much. Very enlightening presentation, and for encouraging us and the members of the diaspora to invest in Tanzania, make our first $1 million. I would like to take this opportunity now to welcome Mr. Lawrence Mafur, Executive Secretary of the Planning Commission. I hope you are online now, sir.
Yes, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Sincere apologies. I thought I was early in the meeting, but somehow technology let me down. I hope you can hear me now. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. So, yeah, so thank you.
Your video is a little wonky, though.
Say that again.
Your video is a little wonky. We can only see part of your face. I think your camera needs adjustment.
Yeah, I think I'm struggling with my earlier plans, so I'm making some alternative arrangements just so that I can attend this meeting. So just bear with me. I hope the message will come through anyway. Yes, so I just wanted to thank His Excellency Ambassador for putting this together. This is definitely one of the very useful platform that is put together. I am very excited to be part of this. I've missed the first part of the conversation, and I'm very sensitive about repeating what has been said already. But let me just start by saying, first and foremost, I think the government foreign policy at the moment, I'm not sure whether the Minister for Foreign Affairs is online, but I'm sure he might have pointed out that we have, just recently set up a framework for foreign policy where we are recognizing the contribution of diaspora communities, and especially so the second generation. And I think that's why this meeting or this platform has been set together. So for me to start this conversation, I just want to share a few things before I point out really why is it important for the group that we are discussing here, the second generation diaspora, to consider Tanzania as home. But I want to point out a few global shift and shocks that makes it very important for us to consider Tanzania not only as people with roots in the country, but just as global citizens and looking at the opportunity that exists in the country. We are becoming a global village, as we all know. But of course, there are certain shifts that are pushing us. These are developments that are significantly changing the landscape of the economies. The way capital is available and allocated globally, not just for Tanzania. Technology is dictating how capital should be adjusted or moving, especially with the introduction of fourth industrial revolution and digital transformation. I think the whole concept of globalization, integration of global value chains, whether it's production, it's trading, it's supply chains. These are all things that are breaking down the national boundaries and making the universe or the world one place. And therefore, regardless of where you are, the most important thing is for you to ensure you're part and parcel of the value chain. The demographic changes, the world is being taken by storm. The youth population is growing pretty fast. Tanzania is obviously regarded as a young nation. That poses challenges as you look at it as as if you're pessimistic, but also it does present some optimism if you are looking for some positivity. The youth population is not a challenge as such, but an opportunity or an asset. And then the other thing really that makes it important for us to consider and look at us as a global citizen is the climate challenges that are currently affecting everybody, regardless of whether you're a poor or rich country on the globe. And then very quickly, some shocks that are affecting everybody, regardless of where they are. COVID-19 is one of the types of shocks, and I'm sure there will be some other, to come in the future. Ukraine-Russia war, Middle East, Israel, Hamas crisis, polarizing the world. Really doesn't matter whether you're in Tanzania, UK, you are in Russia, or you are in China. Geopolitical, macroeconomic challenges that are causing challenges in the production sectors and logistics sectors really are affecting everybody else. Very quickly, I also wanted to squeeze in the trajectory that Tanzania has covered over the last 20 years. And I'm purposely talking the 20 years because the target audience here is a millennial. We're talking about people who were born in the year 2000 when Tanzania was, developing its first vision of development, the Tanzania Development Vision 2025. So most of the people that we're targeting are the kind of individuals who are 20, 25 years old now. And this is the prime age, a productive age, in terms of anything that you want to look at, whether it is about to start a family or starting a business or getting into employment. It's a prime age. And so I would like to talk a bit about some of the positives that we've seen in the country. One is the 20 years has not been a waste at all. 2000, when President Benjamin Mkapa and the team put together the Vision 2025, Tanzania was characterized as one of the least developed countries, poor countries, highly indebted under HIPC. For those of you who remember, we were even forgiven our debts because of the situation. Fast forward 2 decades later, Tanzania is now characterized as a low middle income country status, characterized by a per capita income of about over $1,000, with the economic growth consistently over the last 20 years, about 5%, 6% in so to speak. And that is a number that you would probably have seen it in many few countries, even within the developed world. That kind of growth has not been there. You can, of course, argue, that growth in China, growth in the US, even if it's a lower percent given the size, it's massive. But I think I'm just talking about consistently, the blueprint called Vision 2025 has delivered that growth consistently. I'll soon talk about what is wrong with that growth and why have we not really achieved what we wanted to achieve. So if this was a business, we would look at it and say, we've achieved some ground and there are certain things that we should have been right. So I look at this growth, and one of the things that comes out quite evidently is that it has been an impressive growth, but it's a growth that has not been fast enough to dent poverty levels. We've really dent poverty, but not at the level that we wanted. It's been a growth that has been, again, impressive, but not very much inclusive, partly because the sectors that have grown have not been as inclusive as possible, which also poses or brings an opportunity for the next round of our development to focus on those inclusive sectors. I think one of the other things that I want to quickly push in is that as we measure the success of the Vision 2025, the objective was to improve Tanzanians' livelihood. And this is not only measured by the income indicators, you can also look at it from the social aspects, whether you're looking at availability of health services, education, water and sanitation, energy in terms of electricity, road networks, and transport infrastructure. All those have really improved if you compare with what was in the country 20 years ago. For those of you who were following Tanzania, you may remember, or you might have heard, that back in the days, people had to go through Kenya to go to Mwanza or Uganda to go to Bukoba. those are things of the past now. It takes about 12 hours from north to south of Tanzania through the road networks. So that's one of the measures that you can look and say, look, it has not been a wasted 2 decades. It could have been better, but something has happened. We've talked about wanting to become a competitive economy, and Terry just talked about how we've been able to attract foreign direct investments. This country, around 2013, was able to actually attract over $2 billion worth of FDI. I mean, if you look at the trajectory, obviously between 2013 and 2022, things changed, and we lost some ground there, partly because of the challenges of the economy globally, but partly some of the weaknesses are in our policies, which we are addressing quite aggressively at the moment. So that's also one of the things that I wanted to point out, that as a country, we have been able to attract foreign direct investment from foreigners, people who doesn't even have Tanzania descent. And I'm just talking about how could we convince the youth who are potentially, economically able, talented, skilled, and able to attract private equity to consider Tanzania as a destination, because we have been able to do that before. So I want us to quickly now look at why really Tanzania. And I just wanted to look at some of the massive assets or resources or opportunities, depending on how you want to call them. And I want to enlist a few just for people to see that we are not just talking about people considering Tanzania, but I think we're exchanging that with some serious opportunities. One major asset that we will carry without any hesitation is peace and stability. Tanzania has a unique history post-independence. Probably if you look around Africa, this is the only country that has maintained absolute peace and stability that you've not seen on the continent. And for us, we think that's a massive asset. You wake up in the morning just thinking about your business, not thinking about where do you hide yourself to avoid guns and bullets that could fall on you anytime in the day. So that's a massive opportunity that we think we should carry forward and sail through. Tanzania prides itself with some very unique biodiversity assets, the likes of Serengeti and Ngorongoro, which again, we keep repeating this, not because we just say it, but I think we're proud of how we've been able, as a country, as a society, continue to conserve these assets. And we want to thank our fathers that have really helped us to conserve this. And this is becoming an opportunity economically that continues to make tourism a sector that is attractive for investors. Recently, even when we thought it has gone to rock bottom, Her Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan, with our royal tour, has brought the numbers back to pre-COVID levels. And then again, we're opening for investment. Energy. Tanzania provides itself as a region in the country which can actually become a supplier of clean energy. Whilst we are still trying to satisfy ourselves as a country with energy generation, but we do have a huge potential in renewables. And I'm talking about hydro, solar, wind, geothermal. All these are available in the country, given its geographical nature, and that provides an opportunity for investment in that area. Agriculture, Tanzania is viewed as a regional food basket. And with that, we're simply talking about massive fertile lands that we have, very well watered, for a modern and extensive agricultural sector. We're still agrarian. I mean, we have a lot of people in the farm, a lot of acreage that is not providing optimal, crop or output, because of the fact that the mechanisms that are used are very agrarian and not so modern. And that, to me, presents an opportunity for somebody or for some people to come in and modernize agriculture. If you follow what the Ministry of Agriculture is currently doing, you'll definitely realize that it is indeed an opportunity for Tanzania to occupy that position of becoming not just a food basket for the region or for the continent, but for the global citizens. Livestock is another opportunity. Tanzania boasts itself being the second largest population of livestock on the continent. This is also giving an opportunity for world-class beef and high-tech skin industry, again, calling for equity investment in that space. Our country is endowed with a huge and wide range of blue economy assets, both in the mainland Tanzania as well as in the islands of Zanzibar and Pemba. This is giving the opportunity for fishing, maritime transport, beach and ocean tourism, shipping, etc. Again, that's an area that we are scratching the surface. We're just starting, and opportunities are massive. Forestry sector, again, that's a huge potential for forestry-related industry. We also pride ourselves being one of the geographies with the largest landmass covered by forestry, natural forestry that is also renewable. So again, that's an area that we would like to consider an opportunity for Tanzanians who are not only born or have some descent here, but even if they're global citizens and they have equity somewhere, they should consider that. Mining, Tanzania also has the most exciting geology that offers quite a great potential of developing a huge mining and extractive sector in Tanzania. This is really just pointing out a few rich mines that we have: gold, nickel, graphite, lithium, rare earth. These are potentially critical inputs for global automotive technology industries. I think again, the Ministry of Mining last week had the budget read. The direction we're taking is to attract investors who are keen to invest in processing and value addition industries that will supply the global industries that are looking for some of these rare and critical metals for other processing in the world. Transport, mobility, and logistics. I'm sure we all know that Tanzania connects the region geographically, given our natural location as the epicenter. If you look at EAC, SADC, the Horn of Africa, and the Great Lakes region, we are at the center of this region. Now, this really is an attribute that makes us a hub, a natural hub for logistics, for transport, and therefore for trade. And our new vision 2050, we will actually seek to make Tanzania a significant nation in that region. But obviously that will only be possible if we get the critical, young, energetic, and passionate, skilled, and talented Tanzanians to end that position. And I'm saying it's a massive opportunity where this country can become the Dubai of the region, can become the any hub that you can think about globally. Manufacturing, again, this is an untapped area, potentially because we have been predominantly primary economy, depending on some extractive and primary economic activities. People are still going into the farm, a lot of them, and there's very little modernization that is taking place. So I'm talking about the ability to transform our economic structure from being a primary and extractive economy to a manufacturing and processing or secondary economy that does provide not only better margins, better yields, and better income, but it does give us the opportunity to grow our economy quite faster than relying on the primary sectors. And then, of course, trade, given our geography of a coastal state that is surrounded by landlocked neighbors, as well as the directly linking ourselves with all the SADC members states, which makes us a natural common market. Essentially, everything that you can produce in Tanzania can easily be exported into the SADC region. And this is also important to mention here that Tanzania is also a signatory on the Africa Free trade agreement that is putting together 54 countries on the continent